Okay, so when I hover over this text, this little triangle guy pops up. That indicates that it is annotative. When I click it, the properties over here shows that it is annotative, and then it's at 3/4 inch scale. The way I drew it at 3/4 inch scale was changing my scale down here at the bottom to 3/4. And then this is also annotative 3/4. The text is annotative 3/4. If I want to copy these and change the scale, I'm going to move it over, and then I can select this. I go to properties and I just click that little drop down. It tells me what scales are on it. It's possible that you can have multiple scales on it. I'll show you what that looks like. I'm gonna have 1.5. So I added that scale, but I did not change it. You see the two triangles? That means it has multiple. The reason I didn't change it is because there is 2 scales on here, and the scale of my current view is 3/4. Same thing happens in a layout. Even though I added that scale to it, when I go down here to my layout, it still shows up as the 3/4. If I change my viewport, pause, down here, it was 3/4. If I change it to 1.5, now what happens is the only thing that it will show is the one dimension that has the 1.5 inch scale added to it. The rest went away because they only had 3/4. So if you go to print something and you have dimensions missing, it could be because of the scale of the layout. What I always try to do is, if I add a scale to a dimension, you can also get the ghosts happening. That's a setting if it annoys you, but I go up here and you delete the scale you don't need. So it will only show at this scale. Same with the later 1.5, delete, and text scale, add 1.5, delete the 3/4. So now in my model space, I have these 2 details. When I go to my layout, these are popping up because my layout is at 1.5. Ta-da! But if I change my viewport to 3/4 down here, now they are not popping up. They're gone, and these are here. So you can manually zoom, and it'll make your text look different. But it doesn't necessarily change this unless you go down here. But this is not going to print at the right scale. It's set up for 3/4. So that's a basic introduction to annotative scales. But yeah, if things are funky, just go in here and make sure that the scale you have your text set to is the same one you're using in your viewport in your layout. And you shouldn't have to go into your like text styles. You shouldn't have to go in here and change anything, because it's gonna have the text height and everything correct, because the base template was set up to meet preferences.